Welcome to my channel, Freckled Mom. I'm Devin. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey! Today I have some DIYs all geared around florals and creativity. It just so happens to be my first collaboration without my husband. Bloom with creativity. And I'll tell you guys about that in just a minute. But let's jump right into the projects. Alright, so project number 1. We have a bunch of leaves from Michael's. We have some lemons, some Dollar Tree planters, Dollar Tree boxes, some painter's sticks, and some dowels. Everything is going to get a quick coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint and linen white, even the planters. And now we're going to make the stems to the lemon tree. I scrunch up some brown paper and I hot glue it around the dowels, and then I paint it with a bunch of browns and greens to make it look like a stem. And then I printed out the word homegrown to go on the base. So here's the base of our planter, and I have a little bit of wood glue and a little bit of hot glue. And I'm just sticking those together. Again, this is going to be the base of our project. So the homegrown, I am tracing it out with a pencil. You could print it out on a Cameo, but I wanted to show this way. You do the whole word and then you tape it to the top, and then you use a pencil and go over the entire top, and that way you're transferring the pencil underneath to the wood. And then it's very light, so I do go through with a pencil and I just line everything up, and I make sure I can see where I'm gonna go with my paint. Let's find something new. So now I take my paint marker and I just go through and fill in all my pencil marks. This font is called 𝚤𝚕𝚊𝚕𝚕𝚎𝚗. And I think it is super sweet. This was super simple, not having to pull out my Cameo and all my transfer paper, my vinyl. This is something you can do for any word you want to use or a picture. So now we're going to start assembling, and we're just going to put the planters inside of this box here. Remember, this is the base to our project, and we hot glue it down. We're going to do the same thing with the stems. We hot glue it right into the planter. Now we're going to be making a lemon tree, but my version of a lemon tree. I am definitely not a gardener, so we have a little bit of weeds, we have the green leaves, and then we have the lemons. And I'm just going through and hot gluing everything to the stems and the lemons to the leaves, and no rhyme or reason. So now I'm making the top part of our planter, and I'm doing the same thing with the wood glue and the hot glue, and I'm putting it right on top, and I'm using those painter sticks to adhere it together. So now we have a whole nother level to start decorating. And again, this is supposed to look like an overgrown lemon tree. And I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. I am just sticking leaves inside of things and hot gluing it just to make it look, again, like it's overgrown. I think this came out super cute, and you could use this for summer or spring decor. I just love the green, and I love the lemons, and I love the white. I think it all goes together so nice. We need to find. Say you'll go. Don't make me wait. There's no need to hesitate. I did feel like there was a little bit missing in that corner over there on the left, so I did grab another little white flower and I just stuck it in there with a little bit of hot glue. And I think this came out so adorable, and it's pretty big. and I just am in love with it. This is something I wanted to share with you guys as my creativity project. I love it so much. Now this is a challenge hosted by myself and Theresa BDIY. If you haven't checked out her channel, please go and do that when you are done. She has so many cute DIYs, and don't forget, there's a playlist, so go through my description and check out all the other creators and what they made. So project number 2. This is a wood round I had gotten from the Target dollar spot, my Waverly plaster, some paper doilies from the Dollar Tree, and some flowers I had gotten from the thrift store. So I taped down my doily first, and I'm using it as my stencil. Again, I was trying to stay away from my cameo today and do some simple creative projects. So I'm just going through with my plaster, and I am stenciling through the doily. You do have to hold it down a little bit. It does bounce up a little bit. And then I go through and I dry brush around the edges so that way you could see that edge of the doily. And I think it came out super cute. And then I lift it up, and now we have a fresh space to work with. So I have an F here. This is for Freckled Mom. Just kidding. It's not. It's my last name, 𝚅𝚒𝚎𝚘. And I just trace it all out with a pencil. And I should have taped it because it did move a little bit, but that's okay. I erased it. Good thing I used a pencil. I have these flowers I had gotten from a thrift store for $4, and I am in love with the color. I'm in love with how it looks. I think it's super cute. I laid everything out first to make sure I had enough flowers, and then I just glue the leaves to each other and then to the flower for the beginning of the F. I don't do it again. I only do it for this one spot just to give it a little detail, but not too much, if that makes sense. And I just hot glue it down to the wood, and then I take the smallest little flowers that I found and I use that for the edge of the F. And I go ahead and I hot glue those down too, and I erase the lines as I go. And then I just go through with the flowers and I lay them out in different directions. Some flowers were more closed than other ones, so they fit different in different spots. So I just laid them out and then hot glued them all around. And I am in love with the color of these flowers. Like I said, I think it matches my porch so nice. And this is going outside for my porch renovation that I've been working on.
With me, there's something else we need to find.
And again, I'm erasing those lines, and then I have a little bit of twine that I go through and make a little handle with to hang it. And look how cute that is. Oh my goodness, I think it is perfect vintage, perfect pink, and just adorable. I am in love with this. On my channel, I do a lot of DIY gifts and decor, Dollar Tree crafts, and thrift flipping. If you like these kind of videos, please consider subscribing and joining our family. And now project number 3. So this was a sign I had gotten from the Dollar Tree and some other items from the Dollar Tree. The stencils, I believe, from Martha Stewart. And again, this challenge is called Bloom with Creativity. So you had to use flowers for your projects. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to assemble how I think I want it. I'm going to make some marks on the fence with a chalk marker so that way I can erase it when I'm done. And this is just so I know how much I want to cut off because I want it to sit flush with the sign. You'll see at the end of this project, but I would suggest not using a sign that has this shape, but you'll see. So I go through and I cut it off with my miter shears. I don't know if scissors would have cut through this fence, But this is just a Dollar Tree fence that you can get, you know, you use it in the garden or use it for the crafts, and I'm not sure if scissors would cut it. So I use my miter shears and I cut everything off to the size that I wanted. And then I have that little palette there again from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to go over this. I'm going to paint it in Celery first. And the idea is to make it look like there are flowers growing out from behind a fence. I go through and I use my Waverly and plaster for the fence. And I only did one coat, and occasionally I would go through and just do a little touch up with a second coat. And now this stencil is actually from Plaid, not Martha Stewart. And I just go through and I use the color Moss, just so it's a little bit darker than that Celery. And I go through and I stencil out the word Fall River. That's the town I live in. And again, like I said before, I would not use the shape of this sign again, and you'll see why. Well, maybe you can see already. It's starting to take the shape of a tombstone, and even though the project came out super cute, was not my intention. So here is just a little block. I'm going to be putting the flowers in. I paint it with that moss, and I do a little dry brushing with the plaster just to give it a little distressed look. And now I'm going to put everything together. I hot glue everything down. So I put a little bit of moss over that flower square that I had made. Hot glue it down. I hot glue the fence and the sign inside that little palette. And then I'm just going to start laying out the flowers and putting them into that little moss patch that we made. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just sticking them in. Some of them are hanging out of the fence. Some of them are in the fence. And I think it is super cute with all the different yellows and the whites. Again, it does look a little morbid. It looks a little bit like a gravestone. And I'm not sure why I thought this would look different, but in my head it looked different. So I am going to go through after and I'm going to cut that scalloped edge off. But for right now, what I did was I took a little bit of nautical rope from the dollar store and I wrapped it, thinking that would take away from that tombstone look. It didn't really, but I tried. So definitely pay attention to what you use for the shape of your sign. But still, it came out so cute. I love the greens. I love the yellows. I love the fence idea. Just not the tombstone idea. So project number 4 is no video, just some pictures of my bench and table I have out on my porch. I gave it a little refreshing. I cleaned it and primed it. I had painted it teal last summer, and this summer we're going for that vintage feel, and I ended up painting it with peony pink, and I am in love with this. How pretty is that pink? It is so subtle and just so adorable.
From the start, say you'll stay till the morning light.
Alright guys, that's it for the DIYs today. As I said, this was a collaboration with my friend Theresa BDIY. Make sure you go down in my description to check out her channel and the playlist. Let me know which project was your favorite. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram as Freckled Mom. I'll see you guys next Tuesday with my newest collaboration with my friend Leonette from DIY on Purpose. I have a few more finishing touches up here on my porch and so much summer decor to share with you guys. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.